Hi, I'm Subu, bringing crafting to you. So this is the third part in my Joy to the World crafting. So let's get started. First of all, I have made a little notepad. So the notepad I've covered with a piece of cherry cobbler that measures 3.5 inches by 8.25, then score at 4 inches, rotate and score at 4 inches. Then some of the card that we had left, I've covered the front and cut the piece down to 2 3/4 by 1 3/4, and then I have placed one of the flowers on top. So I think that's rather pretty notebook. Okay, so then we're going to start on making what we're going to make today. So I'm going to make a holder for that. So I'm using a card base. Let me just try and move things out of the way. So I'm starting with the standard card base. And I'm just going to score, so I'm going to take my trimming blade out because I don't want to accidentally do that. And I'm going to put it where the centre line is, and then that measures 4 1/8. So I'm just going to move that by 3/16. So I've got it at 4 1/8, so I'm going to take it, the little marks are the 16, so that's 1 2 3, so that's, I've moved it along 3/16, and I'm going to score. I'm then going to pull it back and I'm going to put to the original score line, and then I'm going to take it again 3/16. Okay, and that's all I'm going to do for now. So I'm not going to score, I'm not going to fold on the original score line. I'm going to fold on the 2 score lines that I have done. So I'm just going to burnish that, and then on the outer score line that I have done, so that's that outer one, just make sure it's level, and I'm going to go down that, so that will give it a book shape. Okay, I'm going to round the corners, so I've got my trio punch and I'm just going to round the corners on all 4 sides. There we go, so I've rounded my corners. Now I've cut an envelope up, and I just took off either side of the envelope, opened it up, because what I want is the length of the envelope so that the words are the right way. So just rub on your score line to get rid of that, and this measures 3 13/16 by 5 3/4. So I'm just going to glue that in place. I'll take that off just to make sure my glue will come out. I'm going to glue this down, and I've just rounded the corners on the side that's going to match the outer edge, so I'm just going to do that. There we go, and so just leave a little increment all the way round, make sure it's level. Okay, just smooth that down. Now on this side I'm going to make my own DSP again, but this time I'm going to use the flower. So the flower from the stamp set. I'm going to get my flower out and mount it on my block. What have I done with one of my blocks? And for this one, I'm going to use a real red. So I've got my real red ink spot, and I prefer to do mine this way, so I'm just going to make sure it's really inked up well, and just grabbing a sheet of paper to protect it. So I'm going to stamp it all over. So switch it around, make it different. There we go. I think this is such a pretty flower, and I think it's not just for Christmas. I think you can use it all year round myself. That didn't quite do in the middle there, so I'm just going to see if I can again get it absolutely in a stamp. That's it, not too bad. So just make sure you ink up well and you don't get any trouble. It helps, there is a stamping mat. I think I will invest in one. I haven't done yet, but I think I will invest in one because it stamps. Although I'm getting a pretty good image, it's more or less, if you've inked up properly, it should give you a good stamp every time. Because on the photopolymer stamps there is no cushion, so you need the cushion really underneath you. So I'm stamping up in real red. I've been waiting for my cherry cobbler ink to come because it's on back order. So I have got a cherry cobbler Stampin' Right marker, and that is another great way to get plenty of ink colours by buying the Stampin' Right markers and marking it, but then I would use the stamping platform to do that with. But I quite like the real red with the cherry cobbler, so I'm happy with this. Where's my piece of paper underneath? There we go, nearly completed. Just all the way round. I think I'll have some other leaves poking out there. So I quite like that. I'm not going to put any words on. I'm just happy with that. So I'll go for that. I think that way around. So I'll just move that out of the way. So the size that we need, just going to put it in. So all I've used is the back of my envelope. So I've used the total envelope, so I've used the pattern piece from it, and now I have stamped on the envelope blank bit. So I need that at 3 13/16. Yes, and so I'll put my cutting blade back in now and cut that at 3 13/16. So that seems to be a little short, is that? It is a little short, mine, so I'm not going to cut that off. I didn't realise I'd done that. And so it needs to be 3 13/16 and 5 3/4. So I'm just going to cut off. Oh, that's more or less it. So now I'm going to decide which way round I want it. So I'm going to go for this way, and so I'm going to round the corners. So I'm going to put it in my trio punch and round these two corners. So these will be the outside corners, and it will go on like that. So glue the back of it. Now I'm going to make a pocket. So what I did to make my pocket is I cut the envelope top bit with the pattern piece. There we go. So I'm going to make it more in the middle. So the over bit on the envelope, I cut down. Where's that? So what I did is actually cut this by hand and chopped off either side. So the pocket strip, let's see, I've not wrote it in order, so I can't find my pocket strip, so I'll measure it, yeah. So of course you've got the depth of it. So the depth was approximately 1 5/16. I've used the 1.5 inch punch and just punched a little hole in there, and then the width of it is 4 3/4. So I'm going to use that to make my pocket on this side, and I'm going to put it in the middle, so that, and all I need to do is just glue down the outside edge, just a very narrow bit of glue down the outside edges, and then across the back. So you only want right at the edge to make the pocket. Okay, so that and go. I've made mine a bit short, so my I should have made my paper. I must have cut it wrong when I did it, but that's it. So now we've got a tuck pocket that we can put things in there. Okay, so I've already made my notepad. Oh, I know what I wanted to do before I did that. Let's see. I'm going to take that off a minute because I'd forgotten to do this, so I'll put it back on again. On the front, about in the middle, I just want to put a brad. So I just want to stick my brad in. I should have done it before I did my DSP. And I'm going to use a flower. Now I've printed on the envelope, I've printed one of these and I fussy cut round it. I'm just going to put a hole as close as I can to the middle, and then I'm going to put my brad through it. And I should have done this before I did my paper. I'm just going to get a little bit of this paper now, and I'm going to get a circle. This is a 1/2 inch circle punch. Just going to punch that and then glue it on top of my brad to hide it. There we go. And then back to my I'll just have to re-add the glue again now because it'll have dried off, so just adding that right to the very end. I'd forgotten that bit, and that can go back over the top again. There we go. So that would have been hidden by the original paper if I'd have made that wide enough. I don't know where I've gone wrong, but so now you've still got your tuck pocket. And then I've made a strip that is 4 1/4, and I've scored at either end at 1/4 of an inch. And I'm going to fold these back on themselves, and I'm going to position it so that my notepad will stick through there. So onto the back, about halfway upish, somewhere like that. I just need to, sorry I'm out of camera shot, just hold that down a little while. Let my glue set, and then all you do is the back part of your pad you're going to put in the middle. Now hopefully that will help to keep that down. So that's going like that. Then for my pen, I have made a, oh sorry, I didn't tell you the width. It's exactly the same width as this. It's 3/4 of an inch wide, so that's exactly the same for the pad one. It's 3/4 of an inch wide. This one is 2 inches, and I've scored at 1/2 inch on either side. And then take your bone folder and just round the middle bit and fold your 2 bits up like that. And then we're just going to adhere that top and bottom. In fact, I'm going to stick a little bit of tear and tape on as well as glue, because I need it to set. I would just use wet glue, but because I'm on camera and I need it to set fast, I'm just going to pop a little bit of tear and tape on it to secure it so that it'll keep down. So just going to put my tear and tape like I normally do right on the end near my crease and cut off, and again on the other side right near my score line and cut that off. Burnish it down, and then I forgot to get my pokey tool out. That makes life so much easier. There we go, and then I'm popping my glue on the rest of it. So my glue, I'll go there and there, and then you just want to get your pen. So I've got a small gel pen that just nicely fits between, so I'm just going to pop that halfway, lift up my flaps. In fact, I can put that down at the top, so I'm going to put that one down first, I think. So that one can go level with the top of your DSP. Put that down, and then bend this one to fit, and make sure you've got it level, and that's the support for your pen. There we go. And I decided to sorry, let me take this out. I also got a piece of the envelope as well, DSP, and this is only 1/2 inch wide, and I'm going to just put that on the top there. So if you take out your notepad, you have something nice. Look, just make sure your words are the right way. And then again on the top part, I'm just going to put some on there, and again on the top part here, making sure that the words are the right way. Tuck that in, so that hides it. This paper wouldn't be strong enough on its own, but that now nicely hides it. so that you've got that in there, and then when you take your pad out you've got that on there. So I'm going to pop mine back through. There we go, and I say you've got that tuck pocket to be able to put things in. And then let's go to the front now. So the Aran paper, as I call it, I'm going to stick this now in the middle. Get that where I feel is roughly in the middle. Just make sure you don't bury a flower like I'm in the process of doing. That's it, that's better. So make sure it's straight. Okay. And then when I made the first card, my spinner card, I had this piece of gold foil, so I put this with the set. So I've got my piece of gold foil that I'm going to put in the middle of there. And then the flower, so I'm going to pop the flower up on dimensionals. I have some here that I've started. No, started some, yes, they're in here. So I'm going to pop that up on some dimensionals. I'm going to make sure it's all on the extreme on ends, so that my flower can't get flattened down. And then one in the middle. Maybe I'm going to stick one more on the outside. So I'm putting plenty on because this could be put in a handbag. Hi Valerie! This could be put in a handbag, so you don't really want this squashing down. I'm going to get those off. Yeah, I think they're all there. So position my flower how I want it. I want it a different way. Now I think I like it like that. So I'm going to pop that there. And then this little centre bit, I'm not putting a gem. I showed you the other day that I'd cut all those out of from Joy of Sharing kit. So it's the oops, where's it gone? The come on, I don't know why it ain't coming off today. Not had any trouble. It's obviously because I'm on camera. Normally they just slip off for me. Don't know what's the matter with it. Right, because it's being naughty, I'm going to get a glue dot out of the kit. Yes, I think I started one of these. Yeah, got some. I'm just going to pop a glue dot on the back of it. That's it. And now it should slide off now. That's it, yes. It is. I'm in such trouble with it today. Is it on there? No, what have I done? I'll have to give up in a minute and get another one. There we go. And I'm just putting that in the centre of my flower like that. So it just finishes it, gives it a little bit of a sparkle. So the cord that we've got, there we go, just going to wrap round the brad. I'm going to wrap round my brad. That's it. And that will go all the way round. We can tuck it underneath there. Should have actually done it underneath, shouldn't I? So I can sort that out later. So I will actually tuck that cord underneath there so that it fastens round and comes back to the brad. But now I've put that in, so I need to thread that through and then knead enough so that it will wrap over and tie, and then I can just cut that off. So that's how I'll finish it off, but I need to sort that out with it going underneath. And then all you do is just undo it, and then undo. You've got a tuck pocket there, and then your pad. So another gift that you could make for somebody. I just thought that was a nice idea. Hope you liked that. And you could put some Wink of Stella on as well. That would make it rather sparkly. But I just thought that that would be a nice stocking filler for Christmas, because I think that's nicely presented. So I hope you really like it. Thank you very much for stopping by and watching me today. I'll be back again tomorrow with my 4th project in the Joy to the World 3D projects. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye.